Was your anxiety really loud leading into the training?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it was screaming at me. Do you really think you can do this? Can you really pull this off? Like, you're gonna walk on that mat and just fail. But I had a really good support system with my mom, my grandma, all my friends. They're like, just do it. This is what you need to be doing. So yeah, that they've really helped me, along with learning how to push myself through.
What made me decide to do teacher training was this deep craving for more. I worked so hard to become an ultrasound tech, and over the past few years I just felt drained and empty, and there was just meant to be more.
A lot of it was my old negative self-talk. You're not gonna be good enough, you're not strong enough, you look like a string bean, there's no way you're gonna be able to do 2 hours of practice in the morning. That was kind of I'd say the physical asana, that scared me a little bit in the beginning. But as it turned out, one of my biggest fears was being with my own mind for an entire month. I didn't know how scary I was on the inside until I was stuck with myself for a whole month.
It's a challenge, but I don't think it's too hard that anybody wouldn't be able to do it. I think a lot of people would be able to walk into this course without having a whole lot of background, because all the teachers have such a strong knowledge that you'd be able to take anyone's practice and develop it.
I'd say the biggest part about it was just to take some time for myself. Being a parent, you don't often get that opportunity to just take time for yourself. And I was at a point in my life where I had had some big changes going on, and I felt like it was time. I needed it. I needed some me time, some time to think. Yeah.
There's definitely a lack of confidence and a feeling of being judged. And so I felt like even when I told friends and family and coworkers that I was going to pursue this, I was just so worried of, I've got this good ultrasound job, it's consistent, it pays well, you're helping people. And so to give that up for, my own growth felt really selfish, and I just felt like that wouldn't be well received from people who thought I had everything all together, where on the inside I was dying and crying for something more. So to finally honor how I had been feeling for years and say fuck it to everybody who might judge me and think I was crazy or going off the deep end, it was like it doesn't matter anymore.
The care and love of everyone here. Like, you could go anywhere in the world, but you can't find a Brenna Bote, you can't find a Shay Usyk, you can't find a Kevin Nadeau anywhere else. You really can't. And I am so grateful. Everyone tells you, go travel abroad to do your teacher training, go do that. I am so happy I did it in Regina, Saskatchewan. Even though I live 12 minutes from here, I was completely immersed in this place for a month.
A lot of the things that we experience are not from our adulthood. They go down deeper into our childhood, and one of the big surprising things for me that I realized is behaviors that I had adopted that weren't mine, or certain things that I did that also weren't mine, but you just adopt them when you're children because that's what you know, and those are the behaviors that you learn, and that's how you cope with it. You just, yeah.
Step hop or close your feet to your arms. Inhale, halfway lift, left back. Exhale, forward. And the biggest thing that helped me feel prepared to teach was teaching right away. Having the space and the opportunity to get up in the front of a class with, actual humans and, practice. And it's bumpy the first few times. The first 50 times, I'm still figuring out ways to do things differently. But that was the biggest thing for me, was just running straight into teaching.
Also really nice. I feel like I definitely have built up some relationships where I know now, okay, if I have these certain questions, these are the people that I can go and ask, or these are the people that I feel confident enough in their answers or in their knowledge, or that they'll guide me to a place where I can kind of answer my own questions. And I think was really the PL method flow. It was moving through movement so you could find the answers yourself, not necessarily just the teachers dictating the knowledge in us. It was, this is what we know, take it with a grain of salt, ask the questions, form your own opinion, and that is something I really appreciated.
I just thought, I had a little bit of an expectation of, oh, they're just gonna make us do yoga and learn about things. We did the yoga and we learned the things, but it was much more in-depth and diving down into your core of who you are, and I didn't expect that. All the mental, physical, emotional work we did, I didn't think we would be diving so deep into all of that.
When I got back to work, I just started talking about yoga with like various people and some trainings and stuff that we had at work. So I had people like have me come out to their safety meetings and do some stretches through that, and then that kind of just grew into, now I'm teaching out there. I have a contract with them every Thursdays, doing a couple classes. So just growing the yoga community, even where I work, which helps a lot because the morale is not always the greatest out there.
You cry a lot. And when you cry with a purpose, it's great. Oh my goodness. Like, I probably could have filled an ocean with my tears, but it was so good. And I realized that it wasn't, some of it may have been from the worries and struggles through the training, but I feel a lot of that emotional release came from wounds that I'd never had a chance to heal or look at. Because I'd find myself after asana in the morning, like I'd be crying and things were coming up from high school, childhood, and I was just bombarded with all these thoughts, and I never realized how some of those things that I just shoved off and kept going were actually still bleeding on the inside. And that was probably the biggest surprise for me, is that things last much longer than you think they do. And there's still things that I'm working on. Like I still have Band-Aids on bullet holes going on, but I'm slowly starting to put those back together.